Patrick in Canada. Patrick, you're live with Eric and Andrew. What would you like to talk about today?
Hi,
Hi, Patrick.
you guys have. Hi, how's it going?
Awesome. How are you?
Good, thanks. So I was just wondering, you guys have any questions about the Bible you can ask me, and maybe I can answer?
No.
Nope.
Is there anything that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I can talk about. Do you know the part in the Bible where it says that Moses sent spies in the Canaan land?
So I want to stop you for a second, Patrick. What I would be curious is why should I care about the Bible, other than as historical or literature, whatever. But why should I care about the Bible?
Oh, this is a historical question.
Okay.
So I want to prove that the Bible is real through historical things that we can still see today.
Okay, so now I got to stop you again. And I should let Eric do this because he's got the best example I've ever heard anybody do. And I'm going to steal it from him, even though he's sitting right across from me. And that is the comic book Spider-Man is set in New York City. Okay. The fact that the Spider-Man comic book has some historical elements in it does not prove that there's a dude bitten by a radioactive spider that can shoot webs. Okay. So showing me that some of the things in the Bible may be historically true does nothing. Okay.
And we have gotten some feedback. People are saying, is there anything other than Spider-Man? Yes, absolutely. If you've read Don Quixote de la Mancha, you have Don Quixote who's traveling across the Spanish countryside. You have references to, and especially in Don Quixote, at the beginning, it says this is real according to. Especially in Don Quixote, it's said right inside the book that this is true.
Yep. And there's an entire genre of historical fiction, right? Real Spider-Man is just, it's the easiest and best example because it's preposterously false, right? Like, we know without having to ask anything that Spider-Man isn't true. But yeah, entire genre of historical fiction. There's a science fiction author named Jack Finney who does these like elaborate time travel things, and every book begins the same way. It's an homage to Don Quixote. Begins with "This really happened to me," right? In the same, and so yeah, like there's tons of examples. So
the point that we're getting to is, if you were to point out something that we could historically verify, our question is there a way that you can justify the miracle claims, or is that even what you wanted to talk about? Maybe we're talking past you. Patrick?
I wanted to talk about giants, if you guys are interested about that.
You want to talk about giants?
Yes.
Okay, what about giants?
So there's a thing, it says that there were giants that were like more than 37 feet high, like as big as mountains.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay, where does it? So let me just stop you. Where does it say that in the Bible? What book?
Moses sent,
what is this? So is this in Genesis? Where is it? I want to find this citation because I don't remember 37 feet in the Bible.
It's in Numbers.
Okay, where in Numbers?
Sorry, I can check the line for you here.
Yeah, please do. I want chapter and verse here because yes, there were in that day there were giants among them that were the offspring of the Nephilim, the offspring of humans and angels, and so this would qualify under the fantastical made up stuff that Eric and I don't believe in. But if you're citing a biblical passage, let's get the right one.
Yeah, so it's in Moses chapter 13. So
there's no book of Moses. Is it Numbers 13?
Yes. It's the book of Numbers, chapter 13. I'm sorry.
Okay, cool. What verse?
Verse 2, you could say that.
Verse 2 is, "Send thou men, that they may search the land of Canaan, which I give unto the children of Israel. Of every tribe of their fathers shall ye send a man, and one a ruler among them." That does not sound like giants to me.
Well, so verse 27 is when they came back and reported what they had seen.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. So this is the passage we were talking about, right? That says the land, it's verse 33 at the very end that says, "And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak, which come of the giants, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight." So I don't see the 37 feet thing.
Oh, it says that they were like grasshoppers in their presence, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right, but you gave me I'm sorry, I don't mean to be pedantic about this. Can't help it, I'm a lawyer. You gave a very specific number. You said 37 feet, and I'm just curious where the 37 feet came from. If that's not important, I don't mean to derail this. So.
Okay. I may have read the Book of Enoch. Have you read about that book?
I have indeed read the Book of Enoch, and I would love to talk to you about the Book of Enoch. So, any reason you know why it's not in the Bible?
It's still in the Ethiopian Bible. If you know about that, it was.
I do.
The Roman Bible. Constantine was the Pope, but it was in the Bible, and it's referenced in the Bible several times.
Sure. And you know what's really, really cool about the Book of Enoch is the only person who never dies, right?
And Elijah never dies too, actually.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Elijah's still walking the earth. But Enoch, lived 360 years and then walks with God in the heavens. You have any idea why Enoch lived? And 360 is a pretty specific number. You have any idea why it's got the 360 on it?
Oh, so Elijah was very wise.
No, I didn't ask about Elijah. I asked about Enoch. Do you know why Enoch lived 360 years and then walked with God in the heavens? Does 360 remind you of anything?
360? Enlighten me.
Yeah, what does it remind you of?
Oh, he said, "Enlighten me."
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I thought he said it reminds me. Yeah, it's what the ancient peoples typically thought a year was, right? So when Enoch lives 360 years, right, it's very, very clear that this is referring to a pre-existing solar deity. That story has been encapsulated in the Bible. And it seems super obvious to me that that's the reason why you would have this story matching up and the walking through the heavens. It seems so obvious once you look at it that this is legend that's then been incorporated into stories over the years, which is totally how we view the Bible, right? There's a mixture of some historical stuff. A lot of it's been garbled, some stories, some, explanatory myths. Doesn't it strike you that way? Maybe. Go ahead. I actually stopped talking, please.
Oh, so I'm trying to tell you that today we can still see giant footprints, things like that, like footprints of a human being that is.
Oh, what a wonderful tradition it is. Yeah, there are tons and tons of that was something that would travel around the United States. These shows, Bigfoot and footprints and things like that. I think that is definitely a rabbit hole that we could, and it is a fantastic one. But I highly recommend for those people who are watching, if you're really interested in that kind of stuff, definitely check out and really apply some skepticism, because you have people who are motivated, to profit. They're saying, hey, you could see this, for X amount of money, or you have sightings that people have later on said, oh, this was faked. You have so many different instances of people creating these amazing, elaborate hoaxes that are just incredible watch. Actually, here in Austin, there's the Museum of the Weird. And it's like $25 to get in.
Paluxy River is in Texas, right?
Don't know.
I don't know. But again, that's an elaborate hoax. There's a dude who goes around and carves footprints, I forget which way it is, either carves dinosaur footprints around human footprints or the other way around. And then they're called, you can Google, it's called Paluxy River Man Tracks. And they're 100% fraudulent. But I will say this to Patrick, there are not giant fossils and footprint. That just aren't. It would absolutely throw all of biology on its head. Take a look. If you look at any kind of reputable scientific literature, neither Eric nor I are paleontologists, so we can't speak to that. But if you look at the experts, they will tell you that those things are just they're either hoaxes or it's just not the case. And I can prove that science. I can't prove, but I can.
That the dinosaur fossils as well should be hoaxes.
No. And here's how you know that, right? Because here's how you know this. Because I'm sorry, we're talking past each other. So let me make my point. Okay. About a decade ago, well, maybe 2 decades ago now, you can Google this. Scientists discovered and it was on I believe a Pacific island, the human remains, genus Homo remains that are called Homo florensis, right? The so-called hobbit. They were humanoids in genus Homo that were about 3.5 feet tall. And it made all the popular scientific literature because they were look, hobbits were real. When there is evidence, it makes its way into the scientific literature. I can regardless of whether that overturns existing thought. We never thought there were 3-foot hominids before, and now we do because we discovered the fossils. If your giant fossils were real, they would be a part of the scientific literature, and they are not.
Unmuted. Hi, Patrick.
Okay, what's up?
Okay. That said, we do want to get to a couple more callers, but giants.
I've got to correct myself that it's Genesis 5:21 to talk about Enoch, and it's actually 365, not 3. I said 360. It's actually 365. So it's super clear. And then the last verse is that Enoch walked faithfully with God, and then he was no more because God took him away. And if you look at the other genealogies in that Genesis 5, all the others say, Kenan lived a total of 910 years and then he died. Mahalalel lived 895 years and then he died. And Enoch is the only one who doesn't die. It's super cool. And it's so obviously a solar myth, right? Anyway, I love that story. So I got the details wrong and I didn't want people to discount the argument based on my getting 360 for 365 wrong. So
anyway,
pedant lawyer.
We are entirely unconvinced. Take care, Patrick.
Okay, take care too. Thanks.
I don't know how long down that rabbit hole to go before it stops being useful. And the more I think about it, the more I realize, I think it stops being useful pretty quickly. It's something that I just adore. I loved going to the Museum of the Weird. It's not because I thought the stuff was real, but because somebody actually fused together a monkey skeleton to look like a mermaid. There's so much weirdness that it's wild. It's this kind of testament to human creativity.
But it's become all the more important now that you have the skeptic tools in your toolbox because, right? 20 years ago, you had to physically fuse the skeletons and put them in the museum. And now, like, you can create CAD deepfakes that are undetectable as false, and it's scary, right? And so, you know, we're in a world in which I could show you. Have you seen the Barack Obama video?
I have.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and
deepfakes are scary.
It's terrifying, and the only thing we can do. That's why I loved your point with Stephen, where the only thing you can do is just be prepared to be thinking about like your epistemology of like how you're processing this, because you can see something that looks 100% true,
especially if you're motivated. You know, if you really are motivated to see it a certain way, you'll find it. You know, it takes a lot of restraint to sit back and go, you know what if I'm wrong? What would it look like? And be open to it. You know, what we talked about at the beginning of this show was, you know, holding views tentatively. And I think that's so important. That said, I do want to take another caller.